I really don't know what I would do if I didn't have some work that I had to get to.
Hello, hello, hello. This is Shirley Crawford, the owner of Second Chance Consulting and the executive director of the Women's Business Center, welcoming you back to another episode of WorkHardAholics. For those of you who are just joining us, you might not know what exactly is a work-hard-aholic. Well, let me explain, considering that I made the term up. But a work-hard-aholic is someone who is always doing something. We don't rest on our laurels. We're not just sitting around waiting for life to happen. We make life happen, and we're not apologizing for it anymore. We're not apologizing for the fact that it's once again another Sunday and I'm here in the office. Yay! As a work-hardaholic, because we do a little bit more than the average bear. We get a lot done, but we have to live in balance. So although we're getting a lot accomplished, we want to make sure that, one, we're being as efficient and effective as possible so that we have the tools and techniques to do things better, but that we're also taking care of ourselves so that we can live these long, happy, prosperous, productive, lives. Alrighty then. So to get started, we always begin with one of my favorite things, which are words. And in part, if you haven't heard me express it before, and even if you have, part of the reasons why I love to talk about words is because words are the foundation of our communication. It amazes me that you can be in a 10-minute conversation with someone and you think you're disagreeing, but then when you define the words you're using, you realize you're saying the exact same thing in two different ways. Amazing. But what a waste of time. So if we can make sure that we're using words correctly, or that we're taking the time to understand the other's vocabulary, it makes things a whole lot easier. So, the word for today is pugnacious. I think it's a cute word. Pugnacious. And it has no relationship to the pug, as in the dog, which apparently is based off of some obsolete word that means like monkey or hobgoblin. Yeah. Okay. But to be pugnacious, I thought it related to the dog. That's why I had to look that up. But to be pugnacious is someone who is basically argumentative, who is always quick to argue, quick to fight, just obstinate. Someone in that category. It made me think a lot about how we handle our daily communications. So most of us these days, I text a lot now, but I email more. And a lot of times there's a whole email etiquette. But the thing is, your email is now operating the way your telephone used to. So it's always buzzing. You're always getting an email message, and we react to them. So as opposed to having a structure for our day, using our Pomodoro technique and other things and our to-do list and saying, this is what I'm going to do today, we might start off that way, and then we get an email, and next thing you know, we're responding to someone else's priorities and making them our own rather than staying on task with what we're supposed to be accomplishing. So here's a technique that takes us to our time tool technique for the week. And it's boomerang. Like you think of the Aussies with the boomerang. You toss it out and it comes right on back. And if you're not safe, you could hurt yourself. So there's a boomerang app that most of us know that you use on Instagram, which is kind of cool. It does like these mini clips that you can put into like your Instagram post. But we're not talking about that boomerang. This boomerang is actually for your email. You can download it. You can use it for your Gmail in particular. You have a couple other options that you can use it on. But here's what's cool about Boomerang. It allows you to take control of your email again. So you can do Instapause. So you can actually put your email and say, I'm not checking my email right now. I'm going to check it from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. I'm not going to keep responding to what's coming at me. I'm going to put it on pause, timeout email, and get back to it later. Or if there are certain messages that you want to look at, but you don't want to look at right now, you can actually put them aside and say, remind me of this. Put that email aside, remind me of it later, and it'll bring it back to you at the time you request it. And then you can respond to it properly. And especially for those of you who have these knee-jerk reactions, because emails are forever, right? Good idea. Great reason to use Boomerang. I am not paid for this advertisement. Just sharing a tool with you. So that's an excellent thing that you can use less for your time tool technique. Take your time management back. Stop letting other people determine for you what you're going to respond to. Take control. All right. That leads me into our bucket moment. And so, when you want to take control, something for you to take control of is your financing. I think it's really important that everyone has, especially as an entrepreneur, that you have a little bit of all the skill sets that are involved. You should know enough about social media, enough about marketing, enough about each aspect of running your business, doing a video, doing a podcast, so that if someone else can't, the business can keep moving. So in that note, one of the areas, I still recommend using a specialist, don't get me wrong, because there are laws and legislations that change all the time, and it's best for you to pass that on to the experts so that you can continue the business of doing what you started the business to do. But in the name of education, information, and constant movement forward, with regards to your finances and accounting, the book I want to share with you for the book of the moment is How to Keep Score in Business. It's by Robert Follett. Robert Follett, who has written several books. Like, we had to use a bunch of these when I was in school. I think my graduate program, etc., for some of the books that he's written. And so for this book in particular, I like the fact that it's for non-accountants. One of the things that I like the most about this book in particular is because whenever I meet with someone, I'm always sharing that your cash flow projections are much more important than your P&L. And I always say that it's because your cash flow is really about what you have, how much liquidity you have. And so when you're running a business, you might have a government contract. You've probably heard me say it before. Or you might have a contract with a large company. They might take 90 days to 6 months to pay you. So it's guaranteed they're going to pay you. You might be able to get financing based off of the invoice, but it's a sticky area. Cash flow talks about how much, but cash flow projections talk about how much money you have or what do you have that you can sell quickly to get cash to pay the bills. Because the lights have to be paid, gas, water, telephone, internet, all these things have to be paid. Websites have to be up every day, regardless of the fact that you have a state contract and they're going to pay you. That's irrelevant if you don't have the money in hand today to pay said bills. So it talks about the accrual method versus the cash method. I'm not here to give you these lessons. I'm just sharing. That's one of the most important things to know about accounting is, are you on an accrual method or a cash method? And most people are accrual, but you live your life by cash. So they go through a lot of terminology like LIFO and FIFO, goodwill, things that what the measurements of that. And that is not about the agency. It's not about the goodwill organization. It's really about... You'll read it. I won't get all into it because my time is basically up. Can you believe it? Alrighty then. So with that in mind, I'm going to tell you a little bit about our work hard, play harder moment. So this week alone, one of the benefits of entrepreneurship and having a great team is that I actually don't work on Fridays. I mean, I'm here Sunday, right? It's Sunday afternoon. I'm here right now. But I got a note from a friend. She's like, I'm going to New York for a conference. So I tagged along. And so I went to New York, and I also went and visited some of the local women's business centers in the area. I was on the Today Show, and I was on Jimmy Fallon, and I just had a great time. And in addition to getting a lot of work done. So that's what I mean about WorkHardAholics. So even though it was technically a very mini vacation, like I went up 30 minutes before I left, I made the decision to go, packed my bags, went, got there, crack of dawn, Friday morning, went immediately to the Today Show, did all kinds of stuff that day, ran around, did a bunch of work. Anyway, I was back here Saturday night at midnight. So it was a real quick turnaround, but I got a lot done, made some great connections, and had some fun, and, all that good stuff. WorkHardAholics, you know how we do. Alrighty then. I'm signing off, saying as I always do, live better, do better, be better. And as always, happy entrepreneuring. Ta-ta.
I really don't know what I would do if I didn't have some work that I had to get to. Da-na-na-na-na-na-na.